The Montauk daisies are fully in bloom now. So amazing that the hurricane did not destroy this side of the hedge, but the other side is completely broken apart, and that's the side that caught the full wind. But in this case, it blew all the flowers towards the front, and so it even made them look nicer. So there's a full hedge there that wasn't there 3 years ago. And this hedge is 2 years old, and look at that. And in the back here, you can think I planted some new little tiny sprigs about a month ago, so those are fresh this year, so that will show you by next year how big those get. And those were in during the hurricane, so one branch did get snapped off, but I just transplanted it already. And look how this one got opened up. It's just the wind was incredible, but you can see Montauk daisies. Good morning, it's Vaughan at Westcote Bell Pottery and Jackie Cohen, my wife. We're going to do a Cone 04 earthenware unloading with all Jackie's hand-painted pieces and my sinks. So let's get going.
Okay, here we have the top layer, and you can see how the kiln was loaded. So I'll just hold them up to the camera here so you can see. These are all Underglaze painting on red clay. And I've switched over to using white slip as my first layer. I find that I'm getting better contrast. Oops. With the white slip, and then I work with the underglazes on top of that. Usually I put down the white the white slip, and then a kind of layer of seemingly random underglaze colors just to get the surface lively. And then I put down my stencils, and then I start in on the more defined areas of landscape and the details in the buildings or in the foliage. Going back in, once I lift the stencils, I go back into the stencil area. One more thing about pieces like this is the gull is a stencil, but I've painted underglazes before putting the stencil down, and then when I take the stencil off, I go back in and do the details of the wing, the tail, the eye, and any kind of feather patterning in the white area.
Okay, and this is the sink from the video that was just posted actually tomorrow. Tomorrow night it will get posted. That's a heavy one. Good, there's no cracks anywhere. That's always a good sign. So this was, remember, lots of stencils and then hand painting all over the background and into the boats themselves, and the carving into the actual stencil work of the whales. I think you can see all that. You get to see the shine now. I've got pictures of these in the video as well, but that's the finished piece. And then Jackie's got some more.
Okay, what have we got here? More tile pieces. Still using white slip as my first layer because I've found, I think I've really been enjoying the better contrast. I was using yellow slip as my first layer until recently. We did a lot of these oblong formats because we have frames for them. Oops, that didn't sound good. There we go. Another loon here. I've really been enjoying doing loons lately. There's actually a loon out in our waters behind the studio. All of these images come from our local area, really, or looking out the windows. And let's see, here's the first of quite a few mugs. This is little chickadees in branches. We have a lot of these in the area. Oops. And this is the island and whale. These are a small, I would say, a little bigger than an espresso mug, but a small size mug.
Okay, next layer down we've got another one of the sinks from that video. Whenever I make sinks, I always make 3 because I like to consistently fire the kiln evenly by having the same things kind of at all 3 levels. And I fire very slow. This was an 18-hour firing. The backs of these are all blue, and that's the one that's half seascape, half landscape. And if you want to see, if you didn't see the other video of me painting these and throwing them, they were posted about a month before this video was posted. So look back in my history.
Okay, so I'll carry on. You can see there were mugs loaded in the kiln all around the sink. So it's efficient use of the firing. And I'll just keep unloading more of the small mugs here. See if I can get it closer. I just did all kinds of subject matters on these. It looks like a really good firing because as I turn them around, I noticed that the details that I painted in are still very sharp. That's what I always look for, that things didn't burn out, and that when I've painted stripes or dots or whatever, that they're still there and very, very clear. This is kind of the mother load here. I ran very low over the summer season, so we had to make up for that. Another whale one. And with these, I'm using the underglazes both in a very opaque and translucent way. Like you can see the water coming over the whale is just a very light wash of the spectrum blue, bright blue. Sometimes by using an opaque color and then using some transparent layers of a similar color over top, you can really enrich the color. Like I especially do that with the blues, so that the blue is kind of not just a flat blue, but kind of has a lot of movement and liveliness to it. One with the houses, boat houses, and few slightly larger mugs here with the island and whale theme. See, there's a good example of using just a more transparent blue over part of the whale to give it that look of being underwater, but still visible pictorially. Flying birds. I always like playing with this motif. Kind of imagining an aerial view. And okay, so this looks like the last of the painted ones on this shelf. This is the cats and the birds. Try and make it look like the birds are winning. Okay, so, and next we go to some Sgraffito. So these are again on the red clay. There's a layer of white and yellow slip on these. So you'll see mostly white, but you'll see like little flashes of yellow in places. Horses and the farms. And here's the seagull overlooking the harbor here. It's another farm, sheep and trees. And here's one with the cat and kittens. Tried to do more of a reversal here, to have a cat that's mostly white against blacks, and then over to this side, black against mostly white. This is another one with the boathouse. Whoops, boathouse. And the water with boats and docks. Okay, and what we got here? Again, another boathouse. This time the boat's more up close with the water behind. And last on this shelf is a whale and the islands. There we go. That's it for this shelf.
Okay, the last layer down. And let's have a look at the bottom again. It hasn't cracked, so all three are good. And it is rare to have one crack, but the first time I made sinks, I had 11 out of 12 crack. So I always remember that. Now it's 1 out of every 30 maybe that cracks. But anyway, this is the final one in that order, 3 sinks, all with a nautical theme. This is the island sink, but it's all good. That looks nice. So watch that video how I painted them, and the one before that was how I threw them, and you'll get the whole story about these.
They were all situated around the sink that Vaughn just pulled out. And so these are more of the Sgraffito. So white slip, some yellow slip, and then black slip over top, carving through the black. See, there's that sort of flash of yellow. I don't plan it. I just let the yellow happen wherever it happens. This one looks like it's mostly white. It's the cat and kittens theme. I don't think much yellow came out on this one. This one just has a little bit of yellow coming forth in the sky. It's a very good firing. The black is very crisp and clear. There's the horses, a tree, and then a little cat down here. There are farms around here that have horses and chickens, sheep. Not big farms, but I always like farm animals. This one's more based on when Vaughn and I had cats and chickens who got along pretty well. More of the cats. And this one is the garden, and the bird bath. This mug is kind of oversized. It's more of a beer stein almost. And then back to some of the painted mugs. This is another one with the birds flying over brush and trees. I like doing these because I can just kind of get into the color and the patterning of foliage. And this is the whales and the islands. Cats and birds. The red came out nice in this. This is a night scene with the whales. Using black sky. This is cats and birds. Usually the cats and birds have like a garden in the background. And then this is another farm scene, one of the local farms down the road. Kind of inspires these farm scenes. And that's the end of the kiln load.
Okay, that was it. This is it'll be broadcast sometime in October as a video, I guess. So if anybody needs any Christmas presents, this will be a really good time, I guess, for those. It's, remember, cone 04 glaze firing, but we bisque fired a cone 01 even higher. So when I glaze the pieces, it takes almost a day to dry them because the clay is vitreous. So I have to thicken my glaze enough so that it stays on the pots. And I use Epsom salts to do that. I'll post the glaze recipe in the actual video. And anything else, it's just red earthenware clay. It actually says that it will fire up to about cone 4, but I've always known it goes chocolate at that color. I don't like the color at all. Very orange at cone 06, 04, but if you bisque to cone 01, it's kind of a balance. You get a nice orange color, but it's very dense clay. It's quite vitreous, and so, as I said, I glaze them and it takes a whole day to dry them out, so the clay is not porous at all. Just air drying at that point. And just let us know if you need anything. All right, we survived the hurricane without any damage. All right, bye.